Hey y'all, Melissa here with you today, and today's project is this phone holder pillow. It has a little ledge on it, so it will hold your phone horizontally or vertically, and it is soft and squishy, which makes it perfect for people who like to have a phone with them while they're laying down, like my kids. I have a free pattern that we're going to be using to make this, and all the details to get that are linked below, so go ahead and grab that and then meet me back at the camera and I'll show you how to sew this up. Let's take a look at the pattern and supplies. So it's really just kind of a parallelogram that's going to be folded up to make the main portion of this pattern. But note that I have different symbols on it, and these are to help you keep straight which side gets sewn to which side once you start folding. So I did go ahead and transfer those markings onto the wrong side of my fabric. And then the other part of the pattern is just a rectangle. In fact, if you don't want to print that page, it is just a 7" by 4" rectangle. And then you will also need about a handful of polyfill. And then what I'm using for the inside of this are these weighted stuffing beads, and I do have them linked below. I considered using rice or possibly beans as stuffing for this, and ultimately I decided to go with the plastic pellets because I know these aren't going to rot or mold if my kids spill something on their phone holder, which is entirely possible. So that's why I went ahead and decided to go with the weighted stuffing beads instead of a different type of filling. So to make this project, first thing we're going to do is we are going to fold our rectangle in half. We're going to match the long edges, and we want to sew down each edge with a 1/2" seam. Once you have those two side seams sewn, turn right side out. And if you'd like, you can use a point turner to press those corners out. And then we need to mark our fabric 1" from that folded edge all the way across. And I'm going to stitch on this line, and I'm going to leave a gap of about 1" in the middle of the line. Back stitch before you cut your thread. And back stitch at the beginning of the other side. Okay, once you've got that stitched, this is where the polyfill comes in. We're going to open it up, and you want to stuff down into that front area. And stuff out towards the sides before you do the center. Okay, once you've got that all stuffed, you need to sew the gap closed, and it can actually be really handy to use a zipper foot for this portion, so I'm going to switch to that. Switching to a zipper foot allows me to get my needle right in there and start stitching on my previous stitching line. I'm going to hand crank it down in there and then sew this gap shut. Okay, here's what that looks like stitched up. And now we are looking for the end of the pattern that has the two little line markings, and we want to fold those two seams together so that my markings are matching up. And then I want to put in between my little pillow that I just sewed. So make sure all 4 raw edges match up. And then we're going to stitch with a 1/2" seam allowance. All right, so here's what this looks like sewn. And now we're going to fold this so that the next matching sides are together. So I'm kind of gonna push my little pillowy thing out of the way, and the next sides I wanna do are the 2 dotted sides. Now I'm gonna sew those together with a 1/2" seam allowance. Want to be really careful on this end not to catch that pillow stuffed part in. Okay, final seam to sew here is the ones with the stars on them. And on this side, when I sew it together, I want to leave a gap, so about 1/2 inch on either side of the star, so that I can turn this right side out. So we're going to stitch across there. All right, once you have that side stitched up, we are going to turn this right side out. And once again, I'm going to use the point turner to just really get into those corners. Okay, so here is what this is going to look like, but I have to fill it now. So let me grab, I'm going to use a funnel to fill this and then pour my pellets in. Okay, so I have my funnel, putting it in the bag. I'm going to pour in a little bit at a time. Once you have this pretty well filled, you are going to close up the hole with a ladder stitch. And if you don't know how to do a ladder stitch, I have a video where you can see me doing this much more close up, and that is linked below. And there we go. But here is my finished phone holder. Check out this playlist for more quick gift ideas. There's something for everyone in that playlist.